able to manufacture a chair. Okay, he bought these 2 bottles of raw material. He came back to Italy. This is what is not written in the chart. He came back to Italy. Just for you to know, he also had to pay a fine because he was not allowed to bring this material on the airplane, and then started working with some friends in order to create the same material the duck were made of. But of course, with a friend, he didn't manage. At that time, he asked Bayer, the famous German company famous for chemical material, to help him. But of course, it was totally unknown, so Bayer didn't pay attention to him. And he tried again with some friends, when finally he was able to manufacture a small sofa, a 2-seat sofa, using this new material, which is called polyurethane. And after he did it, some people noticed this wonderful job, and then called him back at Bayer, and together with Bayer we started this incredible partnership that led B&B Italia to introduce, this was a real revolution, the technology of cold foam polyurethane in this industry. We are the only company, it's a pity I don't have the factory here with me to show you, but we are the only company in Italy buying raw material and delivering a final product, because also this process of manufacturing of polyurethane is managed inside. But something else, at that time all the structure in the upholstery were wooden structure. He decided to change and to use steel instead of wood. Why? Because of the durability, but also because metal shape, metal structure can give the opportunity to have round shapes, and in general really a more durable product. So it's also a matter of quality. This is really roughly, it's a pity for the people who are sitting at the end of the table. We have a metal structure. To each structure we have a corresponding mold. We have a robot which injects polyurethane. You should think something like milk. So it's a white liquid material. Once it is in the mold and coming in contact with air, the white liquid material is creating a chemical reaction, becoming a sort of foam. You should imagine a souffle, increasing 40 times in terms of volumes. It goes everywhere into the mold and perfectly adheres to the surfaces of the mold. When after 10 minutes you open the mold, you mainly have your finished product. So I know that I have to ask an effort, and it's not so easy to understand, but this is the process.
Next time we will take you
to the factory.
Company to the factory, and
because
you will
it's
see
really
the process,
impressive.
because it's really impressive.
It's really impressive.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yes.
This was one of the first advertising campaigns. We are an industry. A plus B for 11 seconds. It's really the formulation of polyurethane. 2 materials, once combined together for 11 seconds, they create this fantastic foam. And these are a number of molds. So the declaration since the beginning was, we are an industry. We're totally different from the other company. This is fabric cutting. Again, it's about an automatic process. It's not about handcraft processes. The test room, quality test for resistance on different products. Again, this is another advertising campaign. But what's happened in 1973? It happens that, I told you before, that this CMB was a sort of sister company of Cassina. This is a little bit the story of Cinderella. The first products were really extremely successful. So year by year, this small company CMB started to become really in competition with the big mother Cassina. And therefore, Mr. Cassina invited Mr. Busnelli to leave the company and to take his share. But of course, the founder, Mr. Busnelli, this was the dream of his life, was his child, and so he couldn't imagine to give up. So he made a tour visiting a number of banks in the area, and he finally found two banks who gave him the money to buy back the Cassina shares. That's why in 1973 the company changed its name in B&B, where the first B means banks. Without the money of banks, he couldn't have his dream come true. That's why.
Banks and Busnelli.
Banks and Busnelli. Without the money of
Busnelli and banks?
The banks first.
Before?
Yeah.
Wow.
Quindi in 1973 the Busnelli family holds 100% of the company. Then I go a little bit faster. Then it was the time to have a building for the offices. And when he heard about a young guy living in Genoa was called something like Renzo Piano. He heard about him. He wanted to see him. He also asked him to send and to make a project for the building, competing with all the other architects working for B&B, from Tartini, Bellini, everybody wanted to get the project of the office building for B&B. But Renzo Piano won. Won why? Because the project was really amazing, was breaking through, was really expensive. Mr. Busnelli told me it was really the double. He had no money, it costed the double than the other, but I decided to go for him. Again, thanks to his intuition, this is one of the first examples of now the famous Renzo Piano architectural projects, and we really have buses of students every week visiting the building. Originally, the structure, the concept of the structure is a sort of box suspended into a metal frame. Originally, the metal frame was blue, then we turned it gray roughly 10 years ago, so it looks really much more modern. And it's still really an exciting example of architecture. And then we have, B&B is nowadays 45 years old, and I can't tell you in detail all the story. But in this longer history, we also won a number of Compasso d'Oro. But one of them, in 1989, for the first time, was given to a company. So far, it was given for a product. But for the first time in 1989, B&B Italia won it for its really mission and dedication to research and innovation. And of course, this is the Compasso d'Oro we are most proud of. One of the Compasso d'Oro was for Le Bambole, one of the iconic items of B&B Italia, with an amazing, at that time, advertising campaign by Oliviero Toscani, featuring Donna Jordan. This was also great. Another one was for Sesamo, the first wardrobe with sliding doors, flush sliding doors. Then another revolution, 1987, with City. For the first time, a sofa which was not simply a straight and linear sofa, but also including some chaise-longue elements or corner unit. This was really changing the living landscape. This was a new way really of using and living with a sofa. It was not only for a simple formal seat, but for relaxing, for sleeping, for working. We usually say it opened an era. And last was the Compasso d'Oro, as I told you before, for the constant work of integration carried out in order to combine the values of scientific and technological research with those necessary to the functionality and expressiveness of its products. Max Alto. In the history of B&B, we also have Max Alto. The beginning imagined a company mainly focusing on wooden complements, starting with the collaboration of Alfredo Via Scarpa, which is nowadays something totally different. But at the beginning, this was the story with Max Alto. was mainly using rare woods. And then in 1995, we stopped working under the direction of Alfredo Tobiascarpa, and we started working with Antonio Citterio. Maxalto started with a quickly evolution process. It really exploded. And you will see what Maxalto is nowadays when we will visit the store. So started from a wooden complement, and nowadays it's an entire and complete collection for living room and bedroom. By 1985, we also started our business in the contract market. What does it mean, contract? We are two souls under the name of B&B Italia. We are working for the residential market, means with products for home, but we also have a strength in what is called contract, that also means collectivity. Means hotels, means cruise ships, means offices. And in 1985, especially, we started a collaboration with Costa Crociere for big orders of several cruise boats. But let's say, just to make a few things clear in mind, which is the DNA of B&B. We are about design, we are about research, we are about innovation, and quality must be. This is the last one, not because of importance, because quality must be, something that we take for granted. These are keywords that we will see in each project, that we will see during our work throughout the showroom. We have a number of premises. Coronado, as I told you before, it was the first sofa which is still nowadays in collection, 45 years old, combining the new technology of polyurethane with a metal frame. We have the Up series, still in collection nowadays, which was really at the beginning, as I said before, vacuum packed. Bambolettone, it was the first upholstered bed in the history. And now you can see on your own how many upholstered beds are on the market. Alanda, which was a bed, for the first time having a number of service elements on the headband. Sesame was the wardrobe with the flush sliding door. City, a revolution in itself. And then Domus, it was a system with the first time with a patented mechanism hidden in the side panel, having a sliding door in a vertical way and not horizontal. Here in 1995, we also started the revolution, because the sofa started not to be on the floor, but suspended with metal feet right in the edge. Charts, you can see it, it's right underneath, with these L-shaped feet right in the edge. Extremely simple, elegant. Charts from 1997 is still our best seller and long seller. Copied everywhere. I think in every market we should start legal action against really 100 companies. Canasta is our recent outdoor collection. We started a few years ago. We will see a few products of Canasta downstairs. And what is important to say that we entered into a market which was mainly dominated by specialists, because there are companies specialized in outdoor furniture, because using different materials, different shape. And we were able to bring exactly the DNA of B&B inside it, so research technology, and the result was that we were able to come out from the number of companies with really breaking through proposal of products, and we've been extremely successful. And then the link table that you can see, but it's also downstairs, that it's using a material which is called crystal plant, a sort of corian, normally used because what the company does, of course, what the company is dedicated and devoted to innovation, is also to look for material and technologies used in other fields and to find an application in our business.